the woman. Inarguably the most complex and wonderful being on earth. Graceful and yet determined and resilient. Grace, with the amazing ability to form life within her, brings into the world a gift to the joy of many. While the process through pregnancy and childbirth may look simple and spontaneous, it's not a giving, and certainly a period of prolonged waxing and waning distress. The experience ends in unpredictable outcome that ranges from healthy mother or baby, life-threatening to mother and or baby, and even fatality. Conditions associated with high blood pressure during pregnancy are among the leading causes of life-threatening and or fatal outcomes for the mothers and their babies. Meet Ajua, Hannah, Araba, and Philippa, the brave women, ambassadors of Preeclampsia, who have decided to share their stories with the world to impact, inform, and encourage all women dealing with preeclampsia, knowingly or unknowingly.
I'm 35 years of age. I'm a businesswoman. I have 3 lovely children, 2 girls and a boy. And I'm a survivor of preeclampsia.
I'm 32 years old and I work with Electricity Company of Ghana. I am 36 years old. I'm a geologist.
I'm 33 years old. I'm a midwife. I'm married. I have 2 sons. I was working at first as a community health nurse for 10 years now before I went to school.
In terms of my health, I've always been prone to high blood pressure due to family history.
I have very healthy pregnancies because I'm not a type who throw up. I don't do anything until my delivery time.
It was a very joyful journey to know that after 5 years of being pregnant, I think I was so excited.
I was always going to work. Everything was okay.
So for the first child, my BP was high at 40 weeks. The second one, it was at 38 weeks. 2 years after, I got pregnant again. And it was the normal healthy pregnancy. I wasn't sick, nothing.
I went to work one day, feeling all tired. I could see, I think everything was so dark. I had been having issues with getting pregnant. And then I had a case of hormonal imbalances, which was causing polycystic ovaries. I had about 3 losses before my firstborn. With my firstborn, for most of the time, I was on medication throughout, and I was really being monitored closely.
So when I was 7 months pregnant, I realized that anytime I was going to work, even before I wake up, I'm already tired.
But at some point of the pregnancy, I realized that I wasn't well. So we went to one hospital. We met the doctor and the nurse. They checked again. I saw that it was high, but they still insisted I needed to rest.
I got to the hospital. They didn't really say anything much. They gave me some fluids and referred me to the main hospital, which was Kolibu. Now, with my second pregnancy, it was going pretty well. And then sometime in July, I got COVID.
So it was like I stayed in the hospital for 2 weeks. The doctor realized that the proteins in the urine were not going down. So he said, let's monitor you till 38.
And then I realized that I had foamy urine. So I started reading about it.
It never occurred to me that at 28 weeks, I'll be admitted in the hospital all the way to 32 weeks. On the 30th week, I wasn't really feeling my baby. So they rushed me to labor ward to do a scan. I was so sad seeing other people come to the ward, have their children, and go home. He ran the test and he checked, and by then my protein was now ++. So he said, you know what, Nidra, I'm going to admit you.
So he came and then I complained of epigastric pains, and then immediately they prepared me for emergency cesarean section, and that was how I got my firstborn.
Nobody told me about preeclampsia. So I was admitted on Thursday until Sunday dawn. A doctor comes in around 1 a.m. and asks, where is the lady with the severe preeclampsia? And the nurse pointed at me. So that's when I realized what was actually wrong with me. I was wheeled to the theater, and I was delivered of my baby. And she was the most beautiful thing I could see.
It happened again. I started having the BPs, and then this time around there was edema too. So the doctor told me, look, you know what's happening to you already, so you have to really help yourself while we also help you. So 37 weeks, they did another cesarean session for me.
And then here comes my doctor on the 26th of September around 11. And then he goes like, so after looking at this, your vitals were improving, your protein went down, but then we saw a reverse trend, so we are coming to take baby out. I was like, what? Just checking the heartbeat of the baby, they told me they couldn't feel anything. I didn't believe the scan they told me that the baby was lost. I told them my baby wasn't dead. I still didn't believe that at 32 weeks I could just lose the baby, whereas in the morning I could feel this baby moving. So the next day, that was when it hit me. So I told myself I would never ever get pregnant. During COVID, I conceived again. So this time around, knowing all the high dangers and everything, I took all the necessary precautions. Now, if there's a lot more education out there, especially for those like that are not very educated, doing it in our local dialects, the doctors giving more information out there, aside from those of us who like to read and even call our colleagues or our friends who are doctors and nurses to ask questions, it would really help. If I just go and they tell you +1, you never understand them.
I had 2 children already, and I had never heard anything about preeclampsia.
As a patient organization whose founding was inspired by a 4-time survivor of HDP, APEC Ghana endeavors to educate, inform, and advise the public, especially pregnant women, about the prevalence, nature, and risk of hypertensive disorders of pregnancy, notably preeclampsia. APEC Ghana, saving precious lives.